Hello and welcome. I am Yumba Umar. Tonight, another Nigerian citizen killed in South Africa. Government condemns incident, says it's one too many. Activists demand thorough investigation into Senator's claim of unaccounted revenue allegedly collected by the police from companies and individuals. Help comes to victims of flooded communities in Benue State as NEMA moves to assess level of damage and hand over relief materials. And Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta vows to repeat victory in presidential election rerun, warns judiciary against meddling in electoral matters.
On business news tonight, Nigeria asked to diversify revenue base in order to moderate debt service to revenue ratio.
On sports news tonight, Formula 1 triple world champion Lewis Hamilton breaks all-time record with 69th career pole position.
We begin tonight with calls by some Nigerians in South Africa asking the federal government to intervene in what they describe as increasing deaths at the hands of the South African police. Following very closely to an alleged police killing in Cape Town recently, another Nigerian has been killed after being allegedly tortured and suffocated by the SA police, this time in KwaZulu-Natal province. Nigerian mission officials visited the area where eyewitnesses gave in their own version of the event.
36-year-old Kingsley Onyeuchi Ikedi came from Imo State. He lived here in Vryheid with these men and now joins a sad and growing list.
No, this one is saying no. Yeah, I know. I'll show you this one and this one and this one she was there. Yeah, I know. Because me was talking with the cops and said, guys, if this man did something wrong, must talk with him nicely and must sit down.
The friend of the deceased, Emeka Okoye, claims they were arrested together. He recounts his experience that day.
So, police arrested two of us on the line. They took me to my house and started putting me on plastic on my face, and they handcuffed my leg and my hand, putting me plastic more than 1 hour, 30 minutes. So after every other things, then drop me in the station. No, after every other things, then dropped me in the station and took the guy away. So that is what I see that happened that day. I nearly died that day, serious. I never faced that kind of problem before in my life. So I was facing, even right now, if I cough out blood.
Those who knew the deceased say they are still shocked, because the area has been a welcoming place to them.
It's very painful that by suddenly, we hearing stories, so we haven't known any directly story to believe, because this is suddenly dead. Somebody just seen out of a blue of eyes is normal.
They welcome Nigerians here. They give us a space to make a business here, making a dresser or making an exchange of goods, all those things. They are very good people. So I'm surprised when this thing happens.
The Minister of Immigration and Consular Matters at the Nigerian Consulate in Johannesburg, Mr. Anthony Okwe, has made many similar trips, but nothing much has changed.
Unfortunately, the previous interventions that were made appeared not to have yielded any dividends, because we have not seen any of the cases prosecuted, let alone anybody convicted. We are appalled by this. Notwithstanding, we will continue to do what we need to do, and that is to continue to engage the South African authorities.
We're yet to get the side of the police in this particular matter, as the investigating officer referred Channels Television to the spokesperson, who is yet to respond. But many Nigerians here are hoping for stronger government intervention to curb the trend. From Johannesburg, South Africa, Betty Dibia, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Foreign Affairs and the Diaspora, Mrs. Abike Dabiri-Erewa, has condemned the latest killings of another Nigerian in South Africa, saying it is one attack too many.
The killing again of another Nigerian in South Africa by the South African police is condemnable, is worrisome, and it's most unacceptable. Of course, you know there's been an early warning signal put in place by both countries some time ago when this incident happened, but it looks like it's really not working. But what is working, I know at this point in time, is that our embassy, our consulate in Johannesburg has actually been very proactive. Immediately this incident happened, they went to the area of the incident, which is actually very, very far, and then about 4 hours drive from Durban to this particular area where this incident happened. And they visited the scene, and they've also interacted with the community, with the Nigerians, and with the police. And our consulate is demanding that the policeman who did this again must be charged. Now, a previous case, I think that of Cape Coast, is already in court. And we're having some lawyers even showing interest in the case to help with the case in court voluntarily. So what is important is as long as it keeps happening and nothing happens to the perpetrators, it's going to continue to happen. While we appeal to Nigerians, wherever they are, to obey the laws of the land, even if this person was caught with anything, drugs and all that, the next thing is not to kill the person. We're going to continue to follow the case and monitor the case and be in touch with the High Commission in Johannesburg as well as Nigerian Union in South Africa to see that this matter is not swept under the carpet.
Well, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Diaspora Matters, Abike Dabiri-Erewa, condemns the killings. A South African-based lawyer, Omo Oburu, who says that he's representing a Nigerian interest group, Concerned Nigerians, has begun the process of dusting up the numerous inquest dockets of Nigerians unlawfully killed in South Africa. While speaking to Channels Television in Pretoria this weekend, he hopes those affected will get justice and that the federal government of Nigeria will do much more to bring the incidents to a stop.
We've had almost 20 to 30-something outstanding inquest docket that now I'm waiting for the compilation so that they can send them to me. Then I'll now have a proper follow-up on the dockets. We've been waiting for assistance from the government. We've been for a very long time. There's no assistance in any way. You see, our intention, what we want to establish is that, you see, the life of a Nigerian matters. You see, we should take that into cognizance. That we should respect that fact. You understand? Look, the incident in Cape Town, from the ESA story around, is just that he's a drug peddler. When he was stopped by the police, he swallowed a drug.
Which is a regular story we keep hearing.
But irrespective of that, he's meant to be arrested, and he goes through the normal procedure. You understand? So that's just so there's no reasonable right to take, especially Nigerians' life. So that's what we're fighting for now.
Back home in Nigeria, gunmen suspected to be herdsmen have killed a community leader in Orionwan, local government area of Edo State. The herdsmen had allegedly led their cattle into the community's farmlands, and an attempt to get them to desist from the act led to the death of Efosa Omorige. Leaders of the community are appealing to the government to put an end to the activities of the herdsmen in their community.
It's a sense of profound loss at the Omorige's house as the community members gather here to mourn the death of their son. Efosa Omorige was allegedly killed by suspected herdsmen. The widow of Efosa told Channels Television that her husband got into an argument with the herdsmen in his farm and was shot by one of them.
As he left not up to 1 hour, the news just came that he has been shot to death by the Fulani herdsmen. They should ask the Fulani herdsmen to leave our land too, so that when we cultivate, we can harvest it. Last year when they came, they invaded the whole farm. Like what we cultivated, we couldn't harvest any. My family has been thrown into confusion since yesterday. We don't know what to do. We don't know whom to cry to.
The community members say this is not the first attack and that all efforts in the past to get them out have so far proved futile.
I'm sure last year we went to a meeting in government house with former Governor Adam Oshomole in respect of these cattle rearers. They promised to address the issue. In two occasions, we went to have a meeting with the captain at the supply facility here in respect of the Fulani Herdsmen. The other day, the commander in Benin, area commander in Benin police came to Igolaba police station to come and hold a meeting with us in respect of the Fulani cattle rearers. But all this while, there was no difference.
We are peasant farmers here. Despite the fact that we have oil and gas here, the company here do not employ our people. We have told the world before now. They don't employ our people. We depend on the farms. And right now, the few land that is remaining for us to farm, Fulani herdsmen have taken over everywhere.
Open grazing is yet to be declared illegal in Edo State, as an anti-grazing bill to regulate the activities of herdsmen in the state has suffered a setback because of disagreements over the contents of the bill.
The Apostolic Nuncio to Nigeria Embassy of Holy See Vatican, Archbishop Antonio Filpazzi, has pledged on behalf of the Vatican to support the humanitarian efforts in Nigeria. Archbishop Filpazzi, who is the Pope's representative to Nigeria, made the pledge when he paid a courtesy visit to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Jeffrey Onyema, in Abuja. He also promised that the Vatican will support educational development in Nigeria. Earlier, Mr. Onyema said that though Nigeria had a lot of challenges in security, economy and good governance, the present administration was doing what it could to address them.
The President has identified three priority areas. This is a mantra for us now in the government, and I'm sure that very soon you will be very conversant with this mantra. And the first one is security. As you know, the security situation we're facing in the northeast of the country, but also in the south and one or two other areas in the country, has been a major challenge for us. And has led to a humanitarian catastrophe as well. We have over 2 million displaced persons, and we're extremely grateful to the support that we're receiving from the Vatican in addressing those really huge humanitarian crises.
The problem of the refugees and all these migrants coming from Africa to Europe in very bad situations, and represent a problem which is really now maybe the biggest problem of the international community. So really the Pope, the Church share the problems and the hopes of Nigeria and of every country in the world.
In part two, after the break, more on the Eid al-Kabir celebration as we bring you a colourful Durbar held to mark the Muslim festivity in Katsina State. Stay with us.